Hi, my name is Ricky. I live in Sunnyside Trailer Park. I'm 17 years old and I live here with my father, Ray. I'm not in school anymore. I dropped out after 10th grade, but I was pretty excited to finish that sophomore year. Ray only made it through half of his 9th grade year, so whenever I finished my 10th grade year, he splurged and bought me some microwave mozzarella sticks. As you can see, we're not the richest, but we do our best to get by. Right now I'm working at the Walmart down the street. I used to work at Target, but they fired me after they caught me stealing from the register. After that incident, I started working at Burger King about 2 weeks later. I worked there for about 2 months, but I didn't really like my boss one bit. He always kept me working late. At one time I got really mad at him, so I took a picture of myself standing in some lettuce. I ended up posting it on the internet and it went viral. Thankfully Walmart will hire anyone, or else I would likely be unemployed right now. Growing up in Sunnyside has been especially tough. Ray has only managed to get us by through his unemployment and disability check trucker until one day, 22 hours into a trip from Louisville to Phoenix, Arizona, he was in a car accident with another semi-truck. He was paralyzed from the waist down. The doctor said he was lucky to be alive, but that's old Ray for you. He couldn't die if he sat on a grenade. After the wreck, Ray became an alcoholic. He only really gave me the minimum I needed to survive. This is kind of how I learned to get by through most of my teen years. One of the nicest things Ray's ever done for me was give me a car on my 16th birthday. It was a 1994 Toyota Camry that didn't actually run, but he bought it from someone in the trailer park for $100. When I'm not at Walmart, I'm usually working on that car. It's been an ongoing project and I save up a lot of the money I have to buy parts for it. Once I fix the brakes and power steering, I should be able to drive it. Honestly, working on that car has taught me more than school ever did. I wasn't the best student in school. I had a C average through middle school and a D average through high school. I only really did homework when I felt like it. School wasn't really for me. I figured my time could be better spent making money than listening to lectures I won't remember for more than 48 hours. One thing I like to do in my free time is hang out with my friends Julian and Bubbles. Sometimes we go down to Farmer Joe's and light cow poop on fire. We also like to hang out in our treehouse a lot. Julian, Bubbles, and me have been friends since kindergarten. I see them almost every day since they live in Sunnyside with me. We pull all kinds of pranks. One time we duct taped around the entire front half of Mr. Leahy's house. When he got home, he about had a heart attack. He always assumed it was us, but he couldn't prove anything, so he let it go. Oh yeah, I also have a girlfriend. Her name is Lucy. We're getting pretty serious. Once I turn 18, we're planning on moving out of our house and getting a trailer. Oh, bottle kids, get down! Whew, I think we're good. Now, as I was saying, well, I hope to get a real job working outside of Walmart. I also think getting my 11th and 12th grade would be pretty cool too. I also have my friends stay in the trailer park with me, even if they make enough money to move out. Maybe we could even clean up the park. That probably won't happen though, because everyone here is lazy. Other than that, I kind of just want to be content with life. As long as I have a trailer of my own and my buddies, I'll be living a good life.
Let's go from Oldham County just a few short miles into Jefferson County, just about behind you. Here we can find Pleasant Gardens, a modest middle-class neighborhood with several good main roads, but there are no sidewalks, but some houses are lucky enough to have garages. One of the residents in this neighborhood is David Taylor. David is an accountant. He is 21 years old and already has a wife, 2 kids, and a dog. Good job, David. Let's see how he's faring.
Hey there, my name is David Taylor. I'm 22 years old and I live in this neighborhood known as Pleasant Gardens. This neighborhood is comprised of mostly working class families. Personally, I am the proud husband to my beautiful wife Sarah and the thankful father to my 2 precious children, Brad and Kate. We live in a modest house with our dog and enjoy spending time with each other. Throughout the day, one can usually find me at the office since I graduated college with a degree in business and I now work as an accountant at a local firm just down the street there. While I love my job, the highlight of my day is usually when I get to come home and share a home-cooked meal with my family members. Growing up, I had a pretty rough childhood. My parents would constantly fight amongst each other, leading to many sleepless nights. Over time, this animosity pushed them further from each other, causing my mother to desert us. As a result of this isolation, my father's outlook on life became very grim and took a turn for the worst. He was constantly irritated and in a bad mood. As a result, he found comfort in drinking, therefore leading to him getting fired at his job. Without a steady source of income, my father and I found ourselves swirling in a pool of bankruptcy. At the time, I was getting prepared to attend this prestigious university, but due to financial reasons, I had to resort to attending my nearby community technical college. Keeping up my work ethic and grades, I eventually met my wife in college. We fell in love at first sight and then started planning our future together. Once we both acquired jobs that we were happy with, we began looking for a place to raise our family. Learning from my father's mistakes, I am much more conservative with handling my money. Therefore, I knew that I did not want to live in a mansion or some big brownstone, but instead desired a place where my children could play in safety and where our neighbors would act like a second family. This is how we ended up in Pleasant Gardens. It may not be the nicest or wealthiest part of town, but it proves to be enough for living a modest life. Throughout the day, it remains pretty quiet along our street. Kids are at school while adults are working tedious jobs with long hours. However, as people begin to come home, the sky becomes filled with the laughter of children running around the backyard and the scent of home-cooked meals wafting out through front doors. On the weekends, usually people can be found out and about. Within Pleasant Gardens, there is a communal playground where lots of families like to come and bask in the sun while eating their lunches underneath the great maple trees that tower over the landscape. Many people can also be found riding their bicycles or jogging down the street as there are no sidewalks anywhere. As I said before, I work as an accountant. While this may constitute what some think of as a common career, I see it as a steady source of income. Now knowing about my past childhood, you should be able to understand why I chose this career. As a boy, I did not have the privilege of people doing things for me. If I did not find a ride for school, I just would not go to school. If I didn't go out to buy the groceries, I would not have dinner that night. I had to become my own caretaker. I had to take care of myself because no one else would. This is why I've begun to instill a sense of determination and persistence into my own children. I personally have seen what it is like to fail and how difficult it is to get back up. Driving home in my used Toyota Camry, I picture what it would be like to live a rich life. To be able to buy extravagant clothes and travel around the world. In fact, when spring break rolls around each year, I have to always listen to my children complain about how we always drive to the beach. They compare our family trips to those of their classmates, saying how they get to take flights to exotic locales outside of the United States. While topics such as these are difficult to suppress at the dinner table, I often will tell my children that each person in life is destined for a specific yet unknown outcome. All in all, I would have to say that life is going pretty good right now. I am content with how things are going. There are many neighborhoods around the city that I know fare much worse than my own. I'm always open to changes for the better, but coming home to your dog jumping up at your knees and your children yelling, "Daddy's home," makes everything in life worth the effort. I may not have been born into the right circumstances, but I worked hard and was able to create a stable life for not only me, but my family as well. My wife loves me, my children love me, my dog loves me. What more could I ask for?
Meanwhile, in between the Pleasant Gardens and the Sunnyside Trailer Park, right on the border of Oldham and Jefferson, is Evergreen Estates. It resembles a small town in many ways. There are many locally owned shops, there's a golf course, tennis courts, a pool, and most of the residents are affluent and white collar. However, one of the crowning jewels of this neighborhood is Waffenberger Manor, including our main friend, Heinz Waffenberger. Heinz and his family come from a long line of German-descended immigrants who started a tailoring company many years ago, which has somehow become very popular, and the Waffenbergers have made themselves very well off. It looks like, for now, they're living the American dream very well.
Oh, hey. Didn't see you there. The name's Waffenberger. Heinz Waffenberger. No, you may be thinking Heinz like the ketchup or even like the Doofenshmirtz, but the name's Heinz Waffenberger. I'm a descendant of famed tailors, Frank and Marie. They're my grandparents. They actually raised me. From the time I was young, they tried to adopt me into their famous tailoring business, but I didn't even want to put in the hard work. All right, that's all I got. Coming from privilege, I never really understood the opportunity I had in front of me. So instead of rejecting my grandparents' offers to be in the business, I used the opportunity to grow it. And now we've got seamstresses everywhere, and the tailoring business is booming. With a large part of those funds, we poured it back into the community, and we founded Evergreen Estates, which you see so gorgeous here in front of me today. Oh, excuse me. Must have been a dog barking. Actually, here at Evergreen Estates, we're very, very pet and family friendly. This living establishment that my grandparents founded and even helped build back in the early 20th century truly is the apex of luxurious living in the East End of Louisville. We have every amenity you could wish for here. We have a private gym. Every home has heated outdoor pools, and we even have a shopping and dining district here. We're nestled here in this perfect suburban environment in Louisville, Kentucky. Only the wealthiest reside here, and my grandparents are a very small portion of the large group of wealthy, self-made immigrants who settled here in the Ohio Valley. They've done well for themselves. Now this is where my family has claimed their fame. When my grandmother Marie and great Papa Frank first moved to the United States in 1949, they had nothing but spools of thread, cases of needles, and a whole lot of love to hold them together. They're the sole reason that I am who I am today. I love my Papa Frank and Grandma Marie. Without them, I'd have nothing. I'm now, and I'm very proud to say this, the sole owner of the Waffenberger Tailoring Company. With their precedence, we plan on continuing to provide the finest clothing to the Louisville area. With the continued purchase of our tailored goods, Evergreen Estates will prosper long into the future. With the money poured back into the community, we'll see it remain as gorgeous, as beautiful, as lush as it is today. The tenants of the community hold a great loyalty towards Evergreen Estates. Good afternoon, Nigel.
Howdy, Heinz. How you doing?
My family, my friends, and all of Evergreen are watched over by the Waffenbergers up in heaven. They've forever provided for the people of this happy, little, rich community. God forbid it change much from what it is now. It's a pristine patch in the city of Louisville. It always has been and always will be.
In between 2019 and 2044, many significant events have occurred, but none as significant as 2023's super hurricane Floyd. It surpassed the criteria for Category 5 hurricane, earning itself its own category, Category 6. The storm devastated the eastern United States, from Florida to Maine, from Missouri all the way east to the coast. Not even Louisville was safe. All their neighborhoods took a direct hit. Sunnyside Trailer Park took a lot of damage, but since it's already been damaged by so many other things, it looks all the same. But for Ricky in particular, the storm was a 1-2 punch. First, the storm took his father as one of the many victims. Second, his girlfriend left him with the son he had with her. She felt that he couldn't support her financially, especially because Ricky used to be such a lazy fellow. But now, he's changed his ways. He's found a job working at Bubbles Body and Beyond, and he hopes that the future will look up for him.
Hey guys, as you can probably guess, I'm Ricky. Big shock, I'm guessing. I mean, last time you saw me, I was right here, a lot younger, but right here, Sunnyside Trailer Park. A heck of a lot has changed since last time y'all were here. 25 years if my memory serves me right. It's still a dump, but heck, it's our dump. I couldn't be more proud to still call this place home though. Some things never change, I guess. I can never bear to leave this place. I mean, I never really had the choice, but I could for dang sure I wouldn't have left even if I had. But a few years back, life decided to throw us a curveball. Hurricane Floyd. That massive piece of crap destroyed this place. I mean, if no one had told you, you wouldn't have even known this was a trailer park at the time. But you know what? That's why I love this place. I mean, look at it now. Nothing but hope. I mean, still a little crazy, but hope. That's who we are though. The guys that get the short straw and still push on. Yeah, I had a pretty crappy time in my teens, but my dad still pushed me to do something with my life. He's the reason I'm here right now. The reason you're talking to this guy rather than the guy 6 feet under. But Walmart fired me. Apparently showing up 4 hours late to a 5-hour shift is subject for termination. But you know what? I found an even better job. I got one with Leonard down in his body shop. At first, it was just helping out Leonard down at his body shop. You know, running errands, sweeping floors, that sort of stuff. Just doing what I could to help out. But not even a month in, Leo started teaching me the ropes. You know, teaching me the stuff that YouTube doesn't. If you thought high school was bad, you should have tried this. He called it Leo's School for Troubled Children. I mean, all of a sudden, my day started before the sun was up, and we're over well after the moon was in the sky. My hands were literally torn to shreds from what he had me do. But my head was full of more smart stuff than I ever thought possible. I mean, you know what? I got that old 1994 Toyota Camry working like a charm, so. But these days, the sign hanging over the garage says Ricky's Body Shop, all big and proud and lit up on a big neon sign and all. I'm sure Leo's rolling over in his grave right now, but you know what? I wasn't about to give that place up after the good Lord took him. I mean, I guess I do got some good news for you guys. While you were gone, the girlfriend and I got pregnant. It was a boy, Ricky Jr., if you can believe it. The kid's 9 and already smarter than I ever was. I mean, I got him into the best school, the best school around here at least. The only problem for Ricky though is he never met Lucy. That witch left the second Ricky popped out. Coward. I mean, yeah, neither one of us really had any clue what we were doing. But I mean, come on. I thought we could have done it together. I wanted to try, but the girl never even gave it a shot. Pathetic. I haven't heard from her since, and God knows I never will. That demon woman made her choice. She's never seen him again. Idiot. My life now is surprisingly really good, actually. I mean, Floyd destroyed this place a few years ago, but look how he bounced back. Even stronger the second time around, I guess. Everybody still knows everybody, and everybody still hates Julian Bubbles and me. No shock there. But you couldn't take this place away from us. This is our home. I absolutely adore my son too. God knows I'd die right here for him. Just because I grew up in this dump doesn't mean I don't love it. I never had anything, but heck, I had everything. I made the best with what I had, and now I won't change it for the world.
Of the 3 neighborhoods, Hurricane Floyd did the least damage to Pleasant Gardens. In fact, it's doing quite well. A lot of it is thanks to the work of David Taylor. David now works as a real estate agent and has bought a lot of the land that was damaged by Floyd and sold it to the neighborhood at a cheap price. There, they're able to build nicer houses. Now, David and his family still live together, but without the children, since they have gone off to college. Unfortunately, he still has his wife by his side.
How's it going, guys? My name is David Taylor. We're here in the year 2044, and I'm here to tell you a little bit about my American dream. So here we're driving around my neighborhood. I've had a pretty big role in rebuilding it, but I'll get to that later. My wife Sarah and I have had a pretty good run of things the last 25 years. Not a whole lot to complain about. Pretty happy guy. Big Louisville fan here in town. Got basketball and football tickets every year. Football team's still terrible, but they'll get back at some point, I hope. I learned a lot as a kid from my dad's drinking and money mishaps. It kind of cost me my education. Hindered me for a long time until I was able to save up and end up putting myself through school, which is something I didn't want to do to my kids. So that's something I've considered an investment for myself. I'm not not one to spend a whole lot. As you can see, I still drive around this pretty old beat up car. But my son Brad is in college. He's in law school right now, actually at Boston College. And my daughter Kate is a doctor. She's 27, working here in town at U of L, so that's nice. So I get to see her a lot. Last time you talked to me, I was working as an accountant, but that's changed a little bit. I got kind of tired of crunching numbers all the time, so I ended up quitting that job and kind of got into a little bit of a real estate venture. I actually got lucky. Well, I hate to say lucky because it was such a tough situation, but we had a massive storm roll through here about 20 years ago, and I was fortunate enough to have my house was spared, and I was able to use a little bit of my minor real estate knowledge at that point to acquire some housing or some land and build some housing on it and kind of help rebuild this area of town, this community a little bit, which I took a tremendous sense of pride in. I made sure didn't want to rip anybody off, gave everybody fair prices on their houses, even a little bit on the cheap side. I'm big into charity. I feel like I've done well for myself in life, and I want to make sure other people have the same opportunities. So I donate a lot towards scholarship funds and things of that nature. I have a very happy home life. Love seeing my two kids. It kind of stinks not being able to see Brad right now, just because he's far away and he's been away for a couple years now. He comes home in the summers, but it's still tough not being able. It's really nice to have Kate around. Get to see her almost every weekend. She comes over for dinner every now and then. Wife Sarah and I are really happy. I plan on retiring in a few years, and at that point, I'm gonna spend a lot of time playing some golf and doing some fishing, and possibly have some grandkids at that point. So it's a little bit about where I'm at this point, and good talking to you.
Of the three neighborhoods, Hurricane Floyd devastated Evergreen Estates the most. The neighborhood is now a swamped land, and many of the tenants have moved out to much nicer neighborhoods. The maintenance staff decided that it was way too difficult to maintain. However, Hines and his family still live there. However, due to the storm and the decline of Waffenberger Tailoring Company, their days of luxury are numbered.
It's a shame to see it all go. The houses, the people, the cars, all gone. I still come back to this place, looking back at how it used to be before the hurricane. Okay, that's all I got. People used to love this neighborhood, walking their dogs and painting their fences. It's so crazy how it all can be taken away in one swift splash. My family had it all. The house, the money, the reputation, and I took advantage of all of it while I was here. I had my grandparents do everything from me, and now I don't know what to do with myself. Life's been difficult since the hurricane. money stopped coming in, I had to get a job. But thankfully, my grandpa taught me enough to get a job at a tailoring business here in town. My skills are adequate. I help wealthy people alter their dresses and suits, but I'll never be as fine-tuned as my grandpa. I was one of the only people to stay in this neighborhood. Some of them moved hours away, and then some people bought smaller houses and dumped all their money into flood insurance. And you know what they say, hindsight is 20/20. I always like sitting on benches and watching the birds. So majestic. Everybody wants to be a bird. Transitioning from one of the wealthiest men in the neighborhood to a normal guy, it's been difficult, but it has its positives. No one notices me on the street anymore, but I do miss the fast cars, the attractive women, the wealthy house. The flood changed me. It took everything I had, made me start from the beginning, much like my grandparents when they immigrated to the United States. But some people did not handle it so well. Take the Jacksons, for example. They had a nice car dealership right down the street. Any luxury car you could think of. Then after the flood, it trashed their property and their cars, and they ended up begging right in that sewer over there. They ended up getting sick and dying, suffering from homelessness, and it's a shame. Some people just couldn't handle it as well. Rumor around town is that they're trying to rebuild Evergreen Estates. There's people in City Hall the other day getting construction permits. Even if they did rebuild the estates, I don't think I'd move back. Just started to enjoy it here. Lately, or before in my estates, everyone would just stay in their mansions and just look out the window and show off their money to each other, but I've really started to learn something in this new neighborhood. I hope my parents would be proud. My whole life I lived off their success and leached off their profit, and once it was gone, I struggled to survive. But I did it. I got a job and I became successful. And I learned something in the process, and I become more contributing to society. And it's the best feeling I've ever had.